The Tao of Self-Confidence, Episode 231. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. Visit our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits. Well, hello friend. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. I'm your host today, Sheena Yap Chan, and today I have a phenomenal lady on. She is a writer, an editor, and also a filmmaker, and I'm just really excited to have her on and share her tips and story with us on self-confidence. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Reera Yoo. Reera, how are you today? Maybe you can fill in a little bit more about yourself to our listeners.
Sure. First of all, hi. Thank you for having me on the podcast. I'm a writer foremost, and I used to be the former editor of KoreAm Journal and Kollaboration. And before I worked as an editor, I was mostly a production assistant. So before I worked as a journalist, I worked primarily on sets and shoots.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And what's your cultural background?
I'm of Korean descent. I was born in Seoul, Korea, and I immigrated to the States when I was 3.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And what would be your favorite self-confidence quote?
I'm not sure if this is actually a self-confidence quote, but it resonates with me. The quote goes, "I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become." And that's by Carl Jung, the psychiatrist.
I like that quote. And, I think it does relate with self-confidence because a lot of people out there, they let their circumstances define them instead of, thinking what happened and what good can come out of it and what else could happen. We all go through bad stuff and it's up to us to react to it, to take action, to go out there and keep moving no matter what our dream is. So, I think that's a great quote. I think it really can resonate with the listeners knowing that, whatever happens, it's still up to you to make the change. So great stuff. And what would be your definition of self-confidence?
My definition of self-confidence would be understanding that you have value regardless of your achievements and mistakes. I think a lot of people measure their self-worth by how much money they make, what career they have, what their appearance is. But those things are temporary. Once you strip all of that away, you have to kind of be proud of who you are. You have to be able to embrace your strengths and your flaws. So I think it's essentially learning how to be comfortable with your current self and trusting in your own decision making.
Awesome, and I like that, and it's true, right? I mean, especially growing up as an Asian woman, we've been pretty much told that if you don't go to school, get good grades, get a good job, and get married, that's not the definition of success. And we have to realize success is living life according to our terms, not anybody else's. And I think the moment we let go and realize that it's up to us to define what success is, that's when you can kind of let go of other people's opinions and just go out there and live your life. So I really love that.
Definitely.
I really love that definition that you mentioned. So thank you so much. And Reera, what was your life like before your discovery of self-confidence?
In short, difficult. I guess I learned to devalue myself from a very young age. I learned to make myself smaller, try not to make that much noise, and try not to be noticed. I guess it's because I was bullied throughout grade school and I would say even up till the end of middle school. And a lot of my teachers, they were not very supportive. I remember all of my elementary school teachers telling my parents that I would never amount to anything, that I was unintelligent, and that it would be a miracle if I went to college. And I tried to cope with all of this negativity by trying to be a perfectionist. I kind of shut my feelings off and just told myself, you just have to be better, you have to work harder. And that just eventually led to some self-destructive thoughts. It led me to anxiety, depression, and it pretty much led to me having suicidal thoughts. So that was pretty much my life before I discovered self-confidence.
Thanks for sharing that. And it's crazy what happens when we start devaluing ourselves, right? Even from at such a young age, we have all these thoughts that we fight with. And I was like you too. When I went to high school in the Philippines, I was at an all-girls school run by nuns, and they thought I would never amount to anything. They all thought I was a troublemaker. And it's great that I just went up there and just kept on studying and getting good grades. And in the end, like they just said, you were wrong. We were wrong. You aren't the person that you were when you first stepped foot in the school. And it's amazing what you can do when you shut out other people's opinions of you and you just live your true self. And not every person can live like that, right? I mean, some of, like you said, you had to go through some thoughts that were suicidal, and I'm glad that you're still here. And what was that point in your life when you realized you were better than that? You could get out of it. What was that aha moment?
I would say I had a string of aha moments. They were very tiny moments, and they just kind of accumulated into this big wave. But one moment that I really remember strongly was, I think it was my junior year of college. I was going to NYU, and I was part of the dramatic writing program. And I had told my professor in a one-on-one meeting that I didn't think I was good enough to be a part of the program. I said I didn't deserve my spot. I didn't deserve my scholarship. I was untalented, lazy, and really, after I graduated from college, I'm pretty sure no one's going to care about what I write or what I have to say. And she just looked at me with wide eyes and just was silent for a couple of seconds. And she just stared at me and said, "You're a good writer. You're talented. You're hardworking. But more importantly, you have empathy. You're compassionate. If you could just save some compassion for yourself, you would be a great writer. You would be unstoppable." And it was just one of those moments when I realized that the only reason why I wasn't happy, the main reason why I wasn't confident in myself was because of my self-loathing. And I think after that moment, I had sought out professional help. I looked for a therapist, and that was when I started my journey to recovery. So I would say that was one aha moment I had in my life.
Thanks for sharing that. And we're, as women, we're so good at self-sabotaging and self-loathing. It's great that you had a professor that told you you're a great writer. You go out there and just do it. And especially because you're such a compassionate writer, it would come through your writing, which is amazing. And I was like that too when I first started this podcast. I thought nobody was gonna listen. I thought people were gonna make fun of me and thought I was crazy. And I had a mentor too, kind of kick me in the butt and said, "What's wrong with you? Just put it out there." And I'm glad that he was able to do that. And because of your realization, what's your life been like now?
Well, it's still pretty difficult. Self-confidence is definitely something that I struggle with every day, but I've gotten a lot better with dealing with negative thoughts and the self-loathing. Whenever a negative thought about myself pops up in my brain, I learn to just kind of reframe it in a positive light. So, if I wake up one morning and say, "Oh, I'm worth nothing. There's nothing I can do today that is worthy of anything." And then I'll just kind of stop and say, "No, you're overreacting. You're going to do great things today. It's going to be a great day. The day hasn't even started." So it's been a lot of reshifting my perspective on things. And I've been just surrounding myself with more positive people, so they're able to check in on me and say, "Hey, remember, you're great. You're fantastic." Just stop and admire yourself for a moment.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And, it's true. It's who you surround yourselves with is so important. I mean, sometimes you just need a person to say, "Hey, you're awesome. Just go out there and, kick ass." And, something that simple can really brighten up a day because you've learned to surround yourself with like-minded people who can lift you up when you have those down days. And you're right. Self-confidence is going to be a forever journey, but we get better and better the more we are aware of ourselves and our surroundings. So, Reera, for the woman who's listening to your episode, she may be in a similar journey to self-confidence. What would be that one tip you would give to her?
I'll probably steal from my professor's words to me, which is to save some compassion for yourself. Be kind to yourself and surround yourself with people who inspire you and make you a better person. I think I found my group of people pretty late in my life, and I don't know, there's such a difference now because when I was younger, because I was bullied and because no one believed in me and people kept devaluing me, I taught myself to devalue myself. But now, because I'm surrounding myself with people who are more positive and who bring out the best in me, I'm able to bring out the best in myself. So definitely surround yourself with people who will inspire you to be better.
Awesome. Those are some great tips. So thanks for sharing that. And if our listeners wanted to get to know you and a little bit more of what you do, is there any links or social media profiles we can connect with?
I have a website. It's reerayoo.wordpress.com. I blog there. I post some of my writing, my articles and pieces of writing there. And my Twitter handle is Reera Boo. And I tweet a lot of things about things I like K-pop and TV and games. So if you're a fan of that, then find me there.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. And to our listeners, if you want to connect with Reera, you can also head on over to thetaoofselfconfidence.com and search for Reera's name. Her show notes will pop up along with everything else we talked about. And I just want to thank Reera for taking the time to share her story with us. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having me.
It was an honor having you on and share your story. And listeners, be on the lookout for another new episode of another amazing woman's journey to self-confidence. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Thank you for tuning in to another amazing episode of the Tao of Self-Confidence. Get your free self-talk tape for building self-confidence by visiting our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits.